Hi, my name is Aileen Eakins. I'm a real estate advisor with Engel Volkers here in Victoria on beautiful Vancouver Island. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the types of ownership that you can have when you're doing a real estate transaction. So first of all, the biggest one, of course, is freehold. And that is what we are most familiar with. Is you buy a property, it's in your name, it's done. Which is great, and whoever's on title are the single owners. Now the next one, of course, refers to our strata properties. For example, your condos or your townhouses, where you're actually looking at a shared development. So you're part of a bigger development, and that means that you own your unit within the development, and you put out a monthly stipend that goes towards the maintenance. The same way you would do if you owned a single-family home, you're still going to take care of your property. But in a condo or strata property, you're going to be part of a bigger picture, and you all chip in for the maintenance. That also applies to townhouses. Now there's also a bare land strata, which is different from a big strata property. And a bare land strata is a group of single family homes, right? But you're sharing some common things. For example, you may be sharing the street that you live on, or perhaps you're sharing the street lights. And those costs are going to be shared by you and your neighbors. Sometimes it's even includes, say, perhaps garbage disposal. But You'll find out when you get into those properties what's involved. They typically aren't as expensive as, say, a condo or townhouse development, but there are some shared costs when you're moving into a bare land strata. And the other type of strata is actually a hotel strata. And that is when you buy a unit within a hotel-like property, the hotel manages it, and you can use it for part of the year, and the rest of the time it goes into the hotel pool. It's often a way that you might be able to earn some investment money from your property. And you get to visit Victoria at the same time. What's not to love about that? And then, of course, we've got leasehold, which is actually a bigger topic. And I think we might leave that for the next time we have a chat. And of course, then we've got co-ops, which there are quite a few here in Victoria. Normally, when you think co-ops, you tend to think of New York, because they're quite different from condos. Co-ops are not when you own the individual unit. You own a share in the building. So for example, say there's 10 units in a building and they're all exactly the same size. You would own 10% of the entire building. They're very unique, and they can have some consequences to them. They're a little harder to mortgage. You have to look a little bit harder to find financing for co-ops. But all of these things mean that you need to talk to a real estate advisor about the types of options that work best for you. So if you have any questions, give me a shout, or send me a note, or leave me a comment, and I'll be happy to feed you some information about it. Don't forget to listen in on our chapter on leaseholds. And thank you so much for listening. My name is Aileen Eakins, and I'm a real estate advisor with Engel Volkers here in Victoria. Please remember to like, share, or comment, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Thanks so much for being here.